This morning, we've been joined by the convener of the Media Against Illegal Mining, or Galamsey, Ken Ashigbe. He's joined us because now we're told by the ministry that we have plans of, actually trying to ban the importation or the making of champagnes as a way of dealing with illegal small-scale mining. And we've also talked about how foreigners who are engaged in that should be mindful of our laws. Ken, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Winston.
Great. So, Ken, you've been at the forefront. You've been helping the media actually focus more on the campaign against illegal mining. Now, we seem to be achieving something, but then that's always the narrative. Little improvement, and then we get back to where we were, or in some cases, even worse than the situation when we started the fight. Why are we not getting it right? Why are we not winning this fight once and for all?
Well, thank you very much, Winston. It's very frustrating. If you look at the fight against illegal mining and all the effort that we have put in, but the results that we keep getting, it is frustrating. I think at the bottom line of all of this is that the margins for those who are engaged in illegality are quite high. And our focus have also not been at the root of the problem. So we tend to tackle it at some particular points and we leave some portions, behind. So you hear the talk about now banning the importation of champagne. I thought that had been done long ago. I think I've also heard that the ministry now saying that those who are manufacturing it, they are going to ban the manufacture here. But how are we implementing it? And for me, I think that the root of it, and I thought the current minister had gotten it right, about decentralizing the fight. But unfortunately, the people who should be pushing this should be the district chief executives and the people at the local ground. Nothing seems to happen to them when they are not doing their work, or even if they are found complicit with it. For me, I think that's where we need to start this. Because for all those equipment that are supposed to get into those areas, if the local people are playing their roles, the district security committee, the intelligence committee that is in there, how do you bring all this equipment into these communities without anybody seeing them? We also saw Operation Hall, so the destruction of the equipment. For some of us, we thought that if the equipment was in the theater of the crime, well, you could decide that you immobilize it. But then we know that these excavators, people import them in. So from the bill of lading to the clearing at the port to the registration at DVLA, there's a track record of who brought this equipment in. So how come all of those people have not been arrested? Because the interesting thing is that the current law, the Minerals and Mining Law as amended, makes it criminal for you who provide these equipment that are used in the illegality. Yeah. But we tend to leave them. So we are not focusing on the people who are actually fueling this. You hear the issues about foreigners, and then you think about Ashawan and say, well, how did we deal with Ashawan when the situation happened? Mm-hmm. And how are we changing it now? And it should not just be talk. It should be about implementing the laws, because when it comes to the mining area, we have the laws. It has been amended. It has been strengthened. The challenge has been the implementation of it and ensuring that we are holding responsible those who are actually responsible for this catastrophe that we put ourselves into.
But I thought we talked about having trackers fixed on these excavators, and so we'll be able to track their activities and where they are. We talked about having drones, Ken. What's happened to all of these?
Exactly. And it's also, you are looking back at even the Interministerial Committee, and if you go and look at the roadmap that we drew, and you look at the MMIP, the multi-sectoral integrated plan that we also had, and even the last meeting that the ministry had, the question you will be asking yourself is that, why are we not implementing this? Because not only were we supposed to have trackers, we're actually supposed to be able to geo-block this excavator so that you cannot even move into areas that you're not supposed to be. And the drones were supposed to be up there. And I know that when we started the drone thing, Operation Vanguard was also talking about drones that had, night vision support so that they will be able to see them when they go to work. So there are a lot of things that we have said that we are going to do. The challenge is that we're not too sure whether all of those things have been done. And then a critical part of it is feedback back to the community, to citizens. Even I'm pretty sure that maybe Operation Halt might still be going on, but nobody knows what's happening. And you see, once you give feedback, it then becomes a deterrent for others who are going to, go into it. So we need that feedback coming back and a lot more transparency in terms of what is being done.
Great, but I mean, talking about feedback, and you've asked why aren't we getting to the root of this all? Now, there's the use of force. We used it in 2013, started another one in 2017, we've started in 2021. It's like every time we talk about dealing with illegal mining, particularly along the water bodies, we send soldiers. But for how long can we keep these soldiers on the fields? I mean, is it not obvious to us that that approach isn't sustainable?
So Winston, this particular fight has to be an integrated, you have to have an integrated approach to it. Definitely there's the law enforcement angle to it that has to be done. But as you do that, there are other things that you also need to do as well. There are a lot of preventive activities that we need to do that also have to be taking place. You need to also definitely, you cannot have gold in a particular place and you prevent people from mining. So you need to also put systems in place that are allowing those who would want to do it very appropriately to be able to do it. And then you need to have the monitoring, bit about it. There's a social bit about it. So, and for me, that's one of the things I say, that we need to go back to that MMI document. There was a stakeholder engagement that we were part of, the media was part of. The various components that had to come to play to ensure that we were going to be able to. If we don't do that, you cannot just use the stick approach. There are definitely various parts of this that you need to do. And all of them, we seem to know them. The only challenge we've had is the inertia to be able to, actually execute the things that we ought to do. And it's just because the people who are involved in this are very influential people. They're people who wield a lot of power. And so, because of that, you push that thing at one particular end, and nothing seems to happen. I am surprised about this Cobra thing. I thought I had seen some pictures that said, there was some activity happening. And I saw a lot of the work that was done by the Minister for the Western Region that was resulting. But then you don't see that in particular areas this is happening and Cobra is back again. And so we have to ensure two things. As we deal with the source of the fire, we also need to make sure that the local people are doing what they ought to do. There's also this respect that has shown that communities, I think it's a Queen Mother, with her people who are deciding that mining is not going to, they're not going to allow it there, and it's not happening. And so the involvement of the local people, the chiefs, and all of that to ensure that this is going well has to be done. And all of this, we need to do all of that together. But in doing this, we also need to carry the Ghanaian along. Listen, until you started, bringing this up, I'm not sure we've had reports coming from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources about this in the past. The operations of Operation Halt. I'm not too sure any of us were getting feedback. The various things that they might be doing in this tracking, all of that, nobody is getting any information coming back. And then most importantly, we are not hearing from the court that those who are even being arrested when Operation Halt started, there's been any prosecution. So where is the deterrent for those who want to go back again into this?
Ken, thank you very much for joining us, and we're grateful you had to step out from a conference just to speak to us.
Thank you very much.
Ken Ashigbe, who's the convener of the Media Against Illegal Mining, joining us to share his views on how we're fighting this menace. But how can we win? He's talked about a few things. He's talked about decentralizing it. And so the question you ask yourself is, why are we not holding the Minerals Commission? Those who are in charge of all the mining districts, the mineral inspectorate officers. How about the regional ministers, the district chief executives? Are they saying they don't see these persons? Tell us what you believe should be done. 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. and then 055 997. Guess who's joined us? Good morning.
Hello.
Missing in action.
Hi, Winston.
Yeah,
I
baby
miss
names.
you guys so desperately, but I'm having such a ball on TV. So yes, that's what's up.
Well, let me just say that this morning we got in touch with the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, and he said he couldn't speak to us. So asked us to speak to the Deputy Minister. We sent him a message. He's still not responded to that. Claude in Tema, good morning.
Yeah, Winston, I'm back again.
Sure, Claude. Share your thoughts with us.
Winston, there's a local proverb. You can't stand in thorns and take the thorns from under your feet.
Sure.
So now we are in a Galamsey crisis. We can't be in the crisis and solve it. And I think a year or two ago, the government put a ban on Galamsey.
On small-scale mining, yeah.
Yes, our politicians put pressure so much that the ban should be lifted. People do not have food to eat and a whole lot of things. But I believe that we need to put an activity and then deal with the excavators, whether we put trackers on them, how we can pack the champagne and clear them from the system. But that is not even my issue. The bottom of the problem is illiteracy, ignorance, and lack of vision of our leaders. Now, if you look at all the mining areas, Equatia, where they were doing diamond, what shows about diamond there? You go to Obuasi, what shows? But when you go to areas where cocoa, palm has been cultivated over the years, especially in the Ashanti Eastern region, you can see the development in Ashanti region from cocoa money. I believe that the pumping machines that have been used on the rivers, if we have a better plan, can be used to channel water into these cocoa farms, into these palm plantations, rice plantations, and then we can have cultivation all the year round.
Okay.
Look at the amount of money we use to import rice, sugar, and all those things. If we are able to do this, I'm sure we will even stop the Galamsey.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claude from Tema, for joining us. You can also join us. How do we win the fight against Galamsey? We want to find out how do we start a sustainable fight against Galamsey and win it. 0302 216 541 055 1111 997. Link